in number that were able to meet the deadline to produce their presidential candidate. Today on the program Politics, we are going to look at the intrigues and political horse trading that these personalities have thrown up in the last few days. Also on the program today, the governorship election in Ekiti State will be coming up this Saturday. And as usual on the program, we are going to bring you situation report from Ekiti State. As someone in Ekiti State will give us updates as far as the situation in the Fountain State is concerned. I have someone in the studio today. We are going to look at the situation together. My guest is a legal practitioner by profession, and apart from that, he likes analyzing political situation in and around the country. Let me welcome Barrister Bola Abimbolaige on board Politics this cool Tuesday afternoon.
Good afternoon, listeners at home. I greet you all and ask you to pay due attention to this program as usual.
Yes.
Because it's going to be beneficial.
It's going to be
all
beneficial.
Of us. Yes.
And due attention must be paid to the program this week as well. Yes, let's start from the beginning. The 16 political parties were able to meet the deadline for the submission of the names of their presidential candidate ahead of February 2023 presidential election in the country. Looking at the names of the presidential candidate, most especially the dominant parties, All Progressive Congress and the People's Democratic Party, and the one we now refer to as the third force, the Labour Party, which Mr. Peter Obi will contest under the banner of the party. How do you see the situation?
Well, it is salutary that 16 out of lot of presidential aspirants had emerged as the candidate of their parties and have met the criteria set up by the umpire, the INEC. And so far so good. We'll be having 16 good citizens of this country who will represent their respective party to fly the kite of such parties in the forthcoming presidential election. That is good enough. Having said that, we all know that the coveted prize is for only one person. And I must say, as a matter of fact, that the gladiators are three personalities. The one representing the APC as the ruling party, the main opposition party, PDP, and now the third force, Labour Party. I want to say, as a matter of fact, that well known to Nigerians that both Tinubu and Atiku are not newcomers in politics. Particularly, Atiku has been in the race for well over 3 times now, and I think this will be his 4th or not, if not 5th time. Tinubu might not have been a presidential aspirant before now, but he has been a player of note, and kingmaker to say the least. And when he actually threw his art in the ring of politics, a lot of people did not give him any chance at all. They were saying, how could a kingmaker, because he was known to be a kingmaker, how could a kingmaker become a king? But this is the water said, and I must commend Asiwaju for being that steadfast. Even though a lot of people criticize him, they call him names, they said a lot of things about him, he never gave such insinuations any kind of attention. he went all out, and at the end of the day, he became the flag bearer of the ruling party. Coming to 2023, when the election per se will come up, I must say as a matter of fact that the race is strictly between the ruling party and the main opposition challenger, Atiku. So meaning that Asiwaju, who is the flag bearer of the ruling party, is going to slug it out with Atiku. The third force, except there is a collaboration with other parties, particularly from the north. I learned that recently they are trying to collaborate with NNPP and some other parties. But let's see how that one goes. But from the look of things, if we are going to follow the trend of politics in Nigeria, we'll give it to the ruling party and the main opposition challenger, that is the PDP. It's strictly going to be between APC and PDP. That's the way I see it.
Well, you talk about the NNPP,
yes,
Kano State,
yes,
which was formed by the former governor of Kano State,
yes,
Alhaji Rabiu Kwakwanso.
Yes.
And you talk of the collaboration between the NNPP and the Labour Party. There's nothing impossible in politics.
There's nothing.
If the two at the end of the day decided to collaborate,
yes,
don't you think we throw the two main political parties off balance?
Well, Mr. Aboderi, I don't want to preempt the outcome of election in February. But like I said earlier, it's going to be between the ruling party and the main challenger, opposition party, that is PDP. Now, the scenario that we may likely see, if at all Labour Party and NNPP collaborate, is that they will probably try their best. But I don't see them even coming near any of the two major parties. It's really between the two of them. And as a political player, I must tell you, it will take a camel to go through the eye of the needle for either the main challenger, main opposition challenger, or the Labour Party in collaboration with NNPP to really turn the table against APC. Because the man at the end of affair now, leading the war chest of APC, is a veteran politician, well known. We all knew his antecedents when he was Lagos State Governor, and all he has done, particularly in the Southwest, when there was electoral robbery on the part of the ruling party then, how through judiciary he was able to retrieve the mandate of some governors. So such a person cannot be whisked away when it comes to politics. And we all knew, we can all attest to the fact that since the primary was conducted and was declared the candidate of the party, he had been moving from state to state, negotiating, collaborating, talking to people. So this somebody who knows his onion, who is ready to play the game according to the rules. So it will take the help of God, a miracle, so to speak, for the table to be turned against him.
But we look at the strength of politicians like Rabiu Kwakwanso in
yes.
Kano, and not by extension, and Peter Obi in the southeast, and by extension to the southwest, and the southeast. Won't they be able, at least to the extent, to change the political nomenclature
let us
of the country?
Let us be sincere with ourselves. NNPP belongs to Rabiu Kwakwanso, who was way only in Kano State, not in all the states that constitute northern part of the nation. So how far can Kwakwanso himself go in the north? That is one thing we have to come to terms with. If now he collaborates with Peter Obi, who was way in only Anambra, not in the southeast. So if they collaborate together, the best they can do is to probably garner support from one or two other states, making 4, out of the 36 states, they could not do more than that. Forget about all this analysis being carried out on the social media. The other day, I think 2 days ago, I read Peter Obi is leading Atiku and leading Tinubu. That is on the paper. But when it comes to the reality, can Peter Obi himself, if he wants to be sincere with himself, can he beat his chest that he will beat Atiku and beat Tinubu in the race that is free and fair contest? So that is a reality we have to come to terms with. The spread of Labour Party, even in the southeast, is not encouraging. Ditto, the spread of NPP in the northern part is only within Kano State that NMPP has gotten. Okay, we are talking about collaboration. Before we talk about collaboration, what is the spread of Labour Party even in the north? I learned that up to today, they don't even have one single gubernatorial candidate to represent the party in the north. So who is going to be campaigning for them? So if they combine efforts together, of which I even learned this afternoon before coming to the studio, that Kwakwanso has said that he would rather collaborate with Asiwaju rather collaborate with unknown entity. That's the way he described Labour Party. So I do not see the challenge posed by collaboration of NMPP and Labour Party to pose a serious challenge to the candidacy of both the PDP and APC.
Now that you have ruled both NMPP and Labour Party out of the contention
yes.
of 2023 presidential election, let's look at the two main political parties in Nigeria, starting with the People's Democratic Party. You agreed with me that Atiku Abubakar is a political general.
Yes.
He has contested thrice to be the president of the country
yes.
and lost on 3 occasions. And Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is just coming on board
for the first time.
For the first time,
yes,
to contest for the presidency of the country. Atiku, to many watchers of political events in the country, knew the terrain very well than Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
I disagree with you.
He might use his experience of his attempt in the last 3 occasions to sway things in his favor. How do you see this?
Well, while I am not in any way denigrating the strength and the stamina of the former Vice President, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, who, having contested 3 consecutive times and failed, may want to do everything this time around to ensure that victory comes his way during the poll in February. But then he asked somebody who is a veteran to contend with, and that is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who on his own has become an institution, a movement. Somebody, any party would want his banner to be woven around him. There are a lot of factors that are going to come into play during the next year election. One of them is what efforts has the ruling party made in selecting their candidate, and if the candidate is the right candidate, what strength does he have in order to win the race against other contestants. Let me tell you this, and I tell you for free, that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has never lost any battle. In fact, at the heat of preparation for the primary, there was a time Baba Kaden has to say that Asiwaju will never start a battle that he know he will not win. So, and if at the end of the day, the same Asiwaju who is projected not to have any chance to win the race eventually clinch the ticket of the party, and he has been going around from one state to another, meeting people, meeting like minds, even unlike minds, to ensure that he has a smooth sail ride into Aso Rock come February 2023. Such a person should not be taken for granted. What I see is that there is going to be a titanic battle between the two of them, but I believe Asiwaju will travel at the end of the day.
I like that titanic battle.
It's going to be titanic.
Let Barrister Abimbola again.
Yes.
If you look at the trend of political situation in Nigeria,
yes,
most especially taking into consideration the North-South dichotomy, who do you think this will work in his favor?
Well, the current president is a northerner, and that was the argument of 12 governors from the north, that power must be ceded to the south. When in 2011 Asiwaju collaborated with the north, a lot of people from the south were criticizing him. How could you have done that? Why don't you support somebody from your own clan? But he knew the nitty-gritty of politics, that it was the turn of the northers at that time. And having collaborated with them, when it was the turn of the south, I think that was what actually helped him. When it was the time of the south, and some people gathered together, they called themselves Kaba. But thank God, the man who knows how to checkmate Kaba eventually checkmated them. When they ganged up, people that were reasonable in the north, particularly the 12 governors, came together and made a joint decision, which was communicated to the president, that please don't toy with the idea of retaining power in the north. So, having benefited from what we did in 2011 and repeated in 2015, I believe it's the turn of the south, and that is what is going to play out in the forthcoming election. There are going to be a lot of sentiment, a lot of emotion, a lot of things like that will collaborate together, that will make the South presidency a reality. I see a Southerner becoming the next president after President Buhari, and that person is no other person. That's why Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The program is State Politics, and my guest is Barrister Bola Abimbola, a legal practitioner and political analyst. The issue of who becomes the running mate and religion is playing a part in taking the decision between the two political parties. For instance, in the All Progressive Congress, they are tinkering with the idea of a Muslim ticket. And in the PDP, the coast may be clear for Atiku to produce a Muslim Christian ticket. Okay. How do you think this will unfold with, shape political situation in Nigeria ahead of 2023?
A lot of things have to be put into factors to put in proper perspective when it comes to the issue of who runs with the president. Religion plays a factor. There's no doubt about it. But when it comes to participatory politics, it has little or nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with it. Because you and I know that if you are eligible to vote, starting from the age 18 to age infinity, as long as you can live and you have the strength to go to the polling booth, you don't care about who the person you are going to cast your ballot for is. You care more about what do we stand to gain as a people when this man becomes what in politics. And that is the more reason why a Christian might continue to be ruling a state for God knows when, and a Muslim can as well continue to rule a particular state till God knows when. But now that Nigerians are talking about religion, there's nothing bad about Tinubu picking his candidate, his running mate in the north to be a Christian, male or female. But then the quantum of what he gains or what he brings to the table matters a lot. Of what use is a Christian you choose who could not marshal enough votes to win the race at the end of the day? So if it is Muslim ticket that would deliver the election to Tinubu, it to be foolhardy of him to go for a Christian. I am a Christian. I go to church. I practice Christianity. But that does not mean that, okay, I am not trying to denigrate the office and person of the current vice president. He is a Christian, but what as Christian, in the real sense of it, gained from his candidature or his vice presidency for the past 7 years? That is the area we have to forget about religion, sentiment, or religious affiliation when it comes to governance. They are two parallel things. We have seen Muslims who have disappointed us. We have seen Christians who have disappointed us. So why must we now be singing the song of Christianity or Muslim when it comes to my own take is, whosoever will deliver the back foot from the north to Asiwaju to win the race is the right person, whether Christian or Muslim.
Abibola, do you think the situation that threw up MKO Abiola and Kingibe for the June 12, 1993 election on a Muslim ticket is still in play in 2023?
We are likely to head for something of that nature. We shouldn't rule out the fact that there are some players who make it possible for Asiwaju to become the flag bearer of the party. If those people have interest in a particular person to deputize him, so be it. It goes beyond sentiment or Rose Street analysis that people were doing. This thing involves the North. If the North decide today that they want to give it to a Christian person, so be it. If they decide tomorrow that, oh, for the sake of unity and peace and tranquility in the North, we want a Muslim person to be the running mate for Asiwaju, I think we may be heading for something or a repeat of 1993 when Abiola and Kingibe. Initially, people kick against it. Muslim ticket cannot fly, but it flew because out of the 21 or 30 states declared that time, 24 was clearly won by MKO Abiola Kingibe ticket. So we may be heading for something similar to that, and I believe that if eventually it comes that way, Asiwaju and whoever is chosen as his deputy will win the race.
The performance of the present government at the center will likely play a role in determining where the vote will
swing
in 2023.
Yes.
But looking at the current state of the nation, the economy, the situation, education-wise, don't you see it affecting the prospect of the ruling party in returning to power in 2023?
My brother, like we have rightly said the other time, that the scenario in 1993 is likely to repeat itself in 2023. In 1993, period 1993, there was a kind of pandemic situation in the country. People were tired of the military rule, and they wanted them to go by fire, by force. So the situation was not different from what we are seeing now. Economic was in quadrum as at that time. A lot of things were happening security-wise. A lot of people were being killed. You remember how some people before 1993 were killed, including this journalist. What's his name again? Delegiwa. I think Delegiwa was killed through Paso bomb. A lot of things like that were happening at that time. And people want a paradigm shift in governance. It doesn't matter whether the person coming is from the ruling party or otherwise. They are looking at the personality of that person. It is the personality of Abiola, not SDP, under platform he contested, that won the race for him. It was his own personality. And the president of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to count for him and count for the party this time around. So I do not see any shift of votes from the ruling party, because the person coming is the hope. Just like Abiola represented the hope in 1993, the hope of the nation for a transformation needed at this hour or at this moment is resident in Tinubu and is coming to the table.
It is 5 days to the governorship election in Ekiti State, and voters in Ekiti are eagerly awaiting the D-Day. and leading political parties and their candidates are already unfolding their strategies and scaling up their campaigns in order to get the support of majority of the Ekiti electorate. We have somebody in Ekiti State. We are going to put a call through to him to tell us the situation report from Ekiti State. The person is Ayodele Akade. Ayodele Akade is a journalist from Ekiti State. He will tell us the situation as far as the preparations for the... Hello, Mr. Ayodele Akade.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes, this is 104.5 FM, Ile-Awiye Oke-Ibale, Osogbo, and the program is Politics. You are on live. It is 5 days to the governorship election in Ekiti State.
Okay.
What is the situation as far as the preparations for the election is concerned?
Okay, so I am going to answer as a neutral body. That question reached me to a particular sense. So you said, what are the preparations? As a neutral body, as a journalist, our assignment is basically to overlook and study the happenings around within the state. And I am going to also be estimating with a few metrics, political metrics within the state right now, which has reached, I think, about 5 or 6 political parties and their aspirants and some top or leading contestants for this election out of the 16, I think, according to INEC record, 16 gubernatorial aspirants for this particular seat come June. I think the parties ADP, ADC, YDP, PDP, and ADC. And as regards preparations, of course, right now, I'm still within the capital. Driving around, you can see the presence of security personnel. Absolutely, a lot of people want to wonder why it's heavy. There are few blocks, stop and checks at some junctions when you look at Josiah School. That place was predominantly mapped. And that's not far from the reality. Over the weekend, previous bloodletting that happened, I think allegedly between supporters of the SDP and the APC at Itachi, which led to, on record, about 2 people's deaths. So far, I think that there were reprisal attempts to have reprisal attacks because it involved members of the NRCW and the ICN. And I think there were disturbances recorded of Sunday shooting here and there. So the military had to take over, and the social parties, one major spot for them. So they had to take over and ensure that there's peace. Aside from all those areas, I think in the capital, everything's relatively calm and peaceful. The All Progressives Congress and next rally is ongoing right now at the map of Pavilion. I think that the presence of the presidential aspirant also has been reported within the state capital. That's actually mentionable. The president is reportedly supposed to visit to the party leaders have arrived. Aside from that, there's relative peace, if you ask me. Everyone is going on business as usual. And I think we hope that this will continue and stay peaceful that way.
Yes, Mr. Ayodele Akade, as the electoral umpire, INEC, giving any announcement as far as their preparations for a free, fair, transparent, and generally acceptable election is concerned?
All right. So as regards INEC has done lots of big accrediting media stations and their workers. That was done yesterday. They made an announcement collection for permanent voters card, and also today in Ekiti State, right? Because the elections, they cannot continue to give out PVCs till the election day. So it ends today. PVC collection within the state, so that's INEC, and that is today. INEC also has released a list of registered voters in all of the 16 local government areas that has been sent. I think over 900. I don't have the precise figures right now, but over 900. I want to check. Let me check the precise figures.
Hello? Hello, Mr. Yodeli Akande. Well, that was Mr. Yodeli Akande from Ekiti State. He has given us a lowdown of the situation report from Ekiti State.
Yes.
Barrister Bimbola Ige.
Yes, sir.
How do you see the situation as far as the report from Ekiti State is
Well,
concerned?
it's unfortunate that 2 persons lost their lives, and I pray that God rest their soul. Be that as it may, when he was at the close of his reportage, he was telling us that, generally speaking, the atmosphere is peaceful. We want the election in Ekiti to be as peaceful as it could be. We don't want loss of lives and loss of properties. Election will come and go. Don't forget that you are the same tribe. Apart from speaking the same language, you are brothers and sisters. Go and exercise your inalienable political right by voting for a person of your choice.
Well, listeners at home will be part of the program by dialing studio number 081-8777-5777, 081-8777-5777. My guest is still right in the studio, Barrister Bola Abimbola Ige. I have the first caller. Hello, good afternoon. Your name, please. Hello.
You see, Southeast are also seriously angry and hungry for the position of presidency and for the spirit of fairness, equity and unity to keep Nigeria united. How soon are Nigerians going to get that part of Nigeria, Easterners, to also feel that sense of belonging? Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Your name, please. Please move away from your radio set. Yeah, move a bit away from your radio set, please.
I'm talking from the
We are with you.
Well, we lost the call. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Your name, please.
I am Taiwo from LA.
Okay.
I think kudos to get there.
Thank you.
The problem we have in this country is a pity we are this crossroad. The APC federal government has made many things made here that they make it. It's a pity. But having said that, we want to thank all the political parties, particularly in the state and also state. Let's play this game according to the rules. You are only there to come and serve the people. You are asking the people to vote for you. Not that it's not a war thing. If people want to vote for you, let them vote for you. And let's beg all our youth. This is not a warring thing. We just go to the polling center, vote, cast your vote, let the INEC cast the vote as how it is. Then declare the result and let us go on with our lives.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Your name, please. Make it snappy, please. You are on.
Please, I want to talk on the issue of the learning.
Yeah?
So in a country like Nigeria, we need to be careful. If it is another country that they are thinking has not been affected, if they choose Christian and Christian. So in a country like Nigeria, thinking that they are affected, some people will be suspecting that maybe there is some hidden agenda behind it. So that is why we will urge the APC to use a Christian holiday. But
Hello, good afternoon.
hello.
Yeah, your name, please.
Hello.
Hello, you are on.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, your name, please.
And I think I don't know.
Okay.
When you have to go down, people have the same. About the hello.
Hello, you are still on.
So, about what I said, what look at the leader, just one. Young man of you are looking at their system, look at the leader. And you will make the trying to be a
Okay, okay. Well, Barrister Abimbola Ige, on the
Yes.
final note,
Yes, sir.
what will be your advice to the public ahead of Saturday's governorship election in Ekiti State? And before then, the campaign of the ruling All Progressive Congress in Osun State will resume tomorrow
Yes.
in Ayedire
Ayedire.
local government area of the state. We are trying as much as possible to get across to one of the figures in the campaign council to brief us on the situation. But before then, Barrister Abimbola Ige.
Well, electioneering process is ongoing, and in the southwest of Nigeria, election will come on the this week Saturday in Ekiti, 18th of June. I want to appeal to the electorates and all the players in politics that they should, as a matter of necessity, play the game according to the rules of the game. No violence, no killing of people, no maiming of people. Ekiti had a sordid past. We want a clear departure from that, and we want election to be peaceful as it could be. On the general election per se, let Nigerians take it as it is that ruling party is not ready to disengage. A man has come who will do better than the one in the saddle, and let us give him a vote. Concerning the Osun election, by the grace of God, His Excellency Adegboyega Isiaka Oyetola will be returned as the governor of the state.
Well, I want to appreciate Barrister Bola Abimbola Ige for finding time to be on politics.
Thank you very much.
Afternoon. The executive producer of the program is Barrister Abimbola, and I want to appreciate all those who assisted in ensuring the success of the program, most especially my executive producer, Abimbola Babatunde. My name is Adiyemi Abodeni. Please do join me next week when I bring another guest on board politics. We thank you for being here and good afternoon.